Hi, in this video I'm going to go over the supply curve and how we show a change in price. So we've got an example of Cameron who is supplying ginger beer, and at the moment we're just looking at the highlighted yellow line showing this supply curve. We've got some points, we've plotted the different amounts he's willing to supply at the different prices. If we have a look at our graph, the other point that I need to draw your attention to is this little dotted line down here, or slash line. We've got a double slash to show that we've broken the axis. It goes from 0 to 6. We haven't put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That makes our line kind of zoomed in so we can see it and see the information we need from it, rather than a little line at the top of the line graph. They've used the broken axes to put in the information. Okay, the other thing we need to talk about with the line, it's sloping upwards because as the price increases, Cameron's willing to supply more ginger beer, and the line doesn't go past the data points that we have. We don't know how much Cameron would supply at these lower prices down here or at this higher price. So we're only putting the line from the data points that we know. That's a really important thing to remember. Now, second page, let's have a look at the change. So we've got a change in price. As you can see from the arrows, the price has gone down. We've gone from P to P1, and so then the quantity has gone down as well. So as the price decreases, it's less profitable for Cameron to make his ginger beer. He'll spend less time in the production of ginger beer and put less resources into it. And he might put his resources and time into doing something else. Or it might be that he decides it's more fun to sit down and watch Netflix than make more ginger beer if it's not going to be at a good enough price to make it profitable for him. Okay, the price decreases from P to P1 as shown on the graph, and the arrow shows the direction of the price. We're looking here. They've got P and P1 and they've got an arrow going down. And the same thing with the quantity. The quantity supplied has decreased from Q to Q1 as shown on the graph, and the arrow shows the direction of the change. Now, let's move into talking about it. We've got our law of supply. Law of supply states that as price increases, quantity supplied increases, vice versa, ceteris paribus, all else remaining the same. In Cameron's case, we are in that vice versa, the other way around. When price decreases, quantity supplied decreases. So the price has decreased from $8.50, which was P1 on our graph, to $7, which is P1 on the graph. The quantity of ginger beer Cameron is willing and able to supply will decrease from 115 bottles to 80 bottles per week. When the price is lower, it's less profitable for Cameron to supply the ginger beer, so he will supply less of it. So this idea of less profitable, profit is the money that you make once you have paid for your expenses. So it's what's left over from the sales, and a business wants to make as much profit as they can. So if something is less profitable, it's less worthwhile for them to do it. They need to make enough money to cover all their expenses and pay them for their effort. Alrighty, flow-on effects. He might not produce as much ginger beer, so he might have more time that he's not spending making ginger beer. He might be able to spend time with friends or go for a walk or investigate some other kind of drink that he could be making. He will get less income from the supply of ginger beer because he's selling less bottles and it is at a lower price. So you could even get your calculator out and work out how much less money he is getting. It would be quite significant. So he might need to do something else, or might need to not spend as much on other things that he's doing. Now, if the price drops really low, below what we know in the graph, we don't know how much he's willing to supply. He may not even be able to supply anything. So he may not supply any ginger beer because it might not be enough to cover his costs. He might decide to find another product to produce, something like lemonade or juice or something like that, that will be more profitable. Okay, I hope that concept made sense. Now we're going to move on to the worksheet that has been attached to this assignment. So I'll just swap over, and we've got our home learning. This was from lockdown. So we've got Jenny bored in lockdown after finishing her schoolwork, because of course everyone does all their schoolwork before they start doing other things. She decides to sew face masks for family and friends. Gave the first 3 she made away, and they were so impressed that they wanted to buy them. And so she's decided to try and sell them online, put them out in a letterbox or something like that for contactless delivery. Jenny thought about how long it takes to make the masks and decided that how many she sells will depend on how much money she gets for each one. She likes to do other things in her time, so may only make more masks if the price was higher. Okay, she decided that if they could sell for $5, she'd make 3 masks per week. If it was 6, she'd make 5. 7, she'd make 7, and 8, she'd make 14, because it's really worth a while at that kind of price. So the first task is to make a supply schedule. So we're going to put in our prices at $5. She's going to make 3 masks. At 6, she would make 5, and so on. At 7, we've got 7 masks, and at 8, we've got 14 masks. So that's going to make a really fun curve, isn't it? All right, now we're going to try and graph it. I know that graphing is hard in Word, and it's much easier to do it at home and online. So we're going to imagine that our line goes up here and along here. I will try and insert a line and see if I can get one to make it look right. Okay, hang on. I'm so popular, I get emails. I should have turned that off before I made my video. Okay, we're going to have a line that goes like this. That's our quantity line. If we double click on it, we can change our thickness, make the weight really thick so you can see it. Look at that. All right, now we're going to copy our line. We're going to paste it, and then we're going to curve it around so it goes up. And that's going to be our price line. Okay, pull this in. Okay, now I will just point out that if you're doing this on your Chromebooks or doing this at home, it might be easier to do it in actual Word or something like that, not the, doesn't work quite so well if you're using the online versions. Okay, and it sometimes takes, there might be a key like Control or something that will help you line up your line. I'm not going to make it too detailed because I don't have the time. All right, so we need to start putting these boxes in. You can use the text box to put in your values. We're going up to 8 and we've got to 14 masks. So you could break your axes here and then start 5, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, 8, whichever way it likes. And then you're going to plot these in. Copy these little dots and put them where you want to on your graph. Okay, we're going to illustrate the change with the dotted lines, and I'm going to leave it at that and see if you can work it out from there. Thank you.